Hi, this is Christina Hills from the Website Creation Workshop, and welcome to this training on the 7 ways to get more prospects, more clients, and more money from your WordPress website. Well, if you don't know me, my name is Christina Hills, and I teach a program called the Website Creation Workshop. For the past 10 years, I've taught more than 2,600 coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, and business owners how to create their websites in WordPress in my foundation course. And I do that because I want to empower you to be able to take control of your website anytime you want. Well, before I was an online trainer, I was a visual effects artist. I worked on films such as Star Wars, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and Jurassic Park. So here's some screenshots from E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Jurassic Park 2 is what I worked on. And as a visual effects artist, my job was to take the dinosaur, the computer-generated images, and marry them in with the live action scene. So I got the smoke on top of the dinosaur, I got the red light glowing on him, and that's what I did. And Star Wars was the most famous film that I worked on, and here's a shot from Star Wars Episode 1. So you can go ahead and rent Episode 1 and look at the credits, and Christina Hills is under visual effects artists. So please turn off all distractions, cell phones, emails, social media. You've carved this time out here for this training, and you don't want to rob yourself of being distracted by something else. All right, so let's just jump right in. Are you freaking out because your email list isn't growing, or gasp, you don't even have an email list at all? Are you anxious that no one seems to know who you are on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn? Are you confused by all the options and choices you see inside of WordPress? And are you frustrated by how hard it is to create new content for your site? Some people have that blank slate, and I'm going to talk about that today, how to get over that blank slate. And are you worried about that the way your website looks on your smartphone might be turning away clients? Or are you just really kind of grumpy that your site is not showing up in Google? Well, today you're going to discover how you can use your WordPress website to grow a following that loves you and wants to buy from you, sell directly from your website, and get the most from your WordPress site without having to pay for every little thing. And you need to have a WordPress website. This is the drum that I beat, is you got to have WordPress. It powers 35% of the internet, and it is the most flexible platform you could use. But if you don't yet have a WordPress site, then you'll want to join my foundation course. That's going to be coming up next month in April. So just watch your email to get notified for signing up for my beginner foundation course. So what I'm talking about today is a little bit more intermediate, but if you are a beginner, you might want to stick around because you're going to learn from this in any case. All right, so we're all on the same page. You've got a WordPress site, but if you build it, will they come? Right? Just because you build your site, are you going to get people to come there? Well, what we're going to talk about today are the 7 ways to get more prospects, clients, and money to your WordPress website. So let's just jump into number 1, refreshing and revitalizing your site. So are you embarrassed by your old, worn out site? Is it looking like an old shoe? Are you feeling like your site needs a makeover? Because you're going to want to have a healthy website that's fresh on the inside and on the outside. And old theme designs, right? A WordPress theme design is the look and feel. They're kind of like old haircuts. All of a sudden, they look dated to you and drive you nuts, right? Can you relate to that? Like you look in the mirror, you're like, oh, I look fine, I look fine, I look fine. Then all of a sudden, one day you look in the mirror and you're like, oh my gosh, my hair looks terrible. I've got to get to the stylist, right? So if you can relate to that, just sort of type in the chat like you've had those days where all of a sudden it needs to be changed. And I've found that experience for myself with my own sites. All of a sudden they need to be changed, right? So at some point you're going to get tired of your old theme and you're going to want a new one. Let me just show you one of my students, her before and after. Here was her site, and she came into my training. She trained with me, and she just didn't know how to deal with her blog posts. And then afterwards, after she went through my training, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later in the call today, now she's got her blog posts on her homepage. So, question that's not a poll, you can just type in the chat. Are you in the question box, are you happy with your theme? So I know some people here don't have a theme, and some people are happy, some people are not. You don't have to necessarily be unhappy, but I just want to kind of get an idea. So we've got some yeses, some no's, some not really, undecided. Some people are tired of it. Yeah, so let me show you how my theme has changed over the years. So when I first started out, my theme looked like this. And then over the years, it has changed and morphed. See, it was a black bar at the top. Then I added some colors, changed my menu, and this is the look that my site has now. So you're going to change your design over the years that you have your site. You're going to change it. Talking about design, let me take this other poll. Is your website mobile responsive? Is your website mobile responsive? The answers are yes, no, or I'm not sure. So I want to get an idea. Is your website mobile responsive? For those of you who've got a website. All right, just click on the screen. Regina says yes, thanks to your foundation course. And same with Brigitte. They're both my website creation workshop students. All right, so I'm going to close the poll, share the results. So we got 71% says yes, but we've got 29% who are either a no or I'm not sure. So about 30% of you are not sure. Well, let's talk about mobile responsive. Basically, mobile responsive means it looks good on a mobile device. So here's what people see when your site is not mobile responsive. You got tiny pictures, you got tiny text, you got to pinch and zoom. It's really hard to see things. And when it is mobile responsive, the website responds to the size of the phone. This is my iPhone. And so that the pictures wrap and resize, the headlines wrap and resize. So here is a Google mobile friendly test. So you can take this mobile friendly test to see if your site is mobile responsive. And I just did an example of one of my sites, and they'll let you know if it's mobile responsive. And why should you care, right? Well, there's a couple reasons why you should care. One is so people can see your site, but two is so Google doesn't penalize you. So you don't want to be penalized for your site not being mobile responsive. All right, so we're talking about freshening and cleaning up your site. Let's now talk about SSL Secure. So what is SSL Secure? It is a green lock. So does your site have this green lock in front of it? And if it doesn't, when you visit your site, your visitors might see this. So you don't want this. You don't want somebody to go to your site and see connection is not secure, right? So how do you check? Well, you just look in the browser, and what do you see here? If you see HTTP or if you see nothing, it's not secure, versus HTTPS. It'll say HTTPS and it'll say secure, or it'll have a little green lock. So this is a screenshot from Chrome, the Chrome browser. Here's a screenshot from Firefox. So do you see a green lock and an HTTPS, or do you see no lock, right? And this is one of my sites that I purposely keep not HTTPS so that I can show this demo. So when somebody clicks on this little I, they would see connection is not secure, right? So you don't want this happening to visitors coming to your site where they get this kind of warning, or they get that other one. You know, you don't want people to see this, right? So you don't want that warning sign. And Google is forcing this change. That's what's happening. Google wants all sites and the web hosting companies. They want all your sites to be HTTPS instead of HTTP, because when you have this, it's called a secure certificate. It means that the communication between the website and the browser is over a secure connection and people can't hack into it as easily. And this is going to affect your search engine rankings, right? So this call is all about people finding our sites and showing up well, so you want it to show up well. All right, so Google wants all websites over the internet to be secure. They don't want that. They don't want any kind of login warnings, right? And you don't want people to see that as well, right? You want people to see the green lock. That's what you're looking for, and you don't want this. So these are one of the things that I help my students do, is get this green lock added to your site. All right, so the other one, we're talking about cleaning up and refreshing. Do you have broken links? That's another reason why you know, Google is penalizing people if there are dead or broken links, meaning links that go nowhere. So when you have a dead link, it doesn't go anywhere, and Google thinks, okay, this is an abandoned site, or this is a site that's not active. Do you have out-of-date plugins, right? You know, do you know what to do when you see this? So this is a scan inside of a website, and it has two warnings. One plugin was removed from WordPress, and then one plugin had been abandoned. You know, here's an example of that abandoned plugin, last updated 5 years ago. So do you know if you have stuff like this? And do you know how to do the updates? So this is, I got a poll for all you folks with a WordPress site. Are you updating your plugins inside of WordPress? So you can just click on the poll. Are you updating your plugins inside of WordPress? And I will be taking questions at the end. Just click on the screen. We got people voting. And I think I'm almost ready to close. Are you updating your plugins inside WordPress? Okay, I think I'll close the poll. And if you don't know what a plugin is, that is okay. I'm going to be doing my foundation training in a month because I'm opening up my foundation course in a month. So just hang tight there. And a plugin is basically software inside your WordPress site. All right, I'm going to close the poll and share the results. So 46% are, but more than half are not, or sometimes, or 25% don't know how to update a plugin. The 7% who don't know what a plugin is, that's awesome that you're sticking around here. I do that training next month. All right, so that is a lot of folks. This is one of the things you need to do to your site, which is update your plugins to keep your site streamlined and healthy on the inside and out. But I don't want to run out of time, so I need to move on to the number 2 in my 7 points, which is easily creating your website content. Easily creating your website content. So what do I mean when I say content? Content is for your blog or just writing content on your WordPress site. So what would content be? So here are some blog posts. Other content would be my FAQ, my About Us, showing off some success stories, resources. So that's content. When I talk about I'm creating content, I generally am writing blog posts. So here are some, and I don't think I have a poll for this. I don't think I have a poll for this about are you creating, do you write blog posts? Yeah, I'll skip that poll. I'm going to keep moving along. All right, here are 3 simple content creation ideas. Number 1 is news headlines, right? So look at the news, look at magazines, look at their headlines, and see if you can kind of rework it for your own business. So diabetes, understanding carbohydrates. You could have, coaching, which coach is right for you. Or 7 foods to make in your coffee pot. 7 reasons why you need essential oils. I mean, what's nice about grabbing a magazine and looking at the headlines is they've paid an expensive copywriter to come up with that headline, so you can change it around and make it your own. So that's number 1 of my 3 simple content creation ideas. Number 2, and this one is my favorite, is YouTube. Use YouTube as a resource for ideas and inspirations. And the great thing about YouTube, and I'm not a copyright lawyer, but I'm going to tell you my understanding, is you don't need to worry about the copyrights when you are using somebody else's video on your site. So what does that mean? So looking at this screen, we've got TED or TEDx, we've got a Whole Foods, Dr. Oz, and CNN. So these are 3 different companies that have their own YouTube channel. So TED Talks are great. Whole Foods, if you're a foodie, CNN is news. If you go to any of these channels on YouTube, right? So all you have to do is go to YouTube and type in the Dr. Oz show. You'll get his channel. So any of the videos he has on his channel, or Whole Foods or TED or CNN or whoever you find, it's up to them to worry about the copyrights of a video they are putting up on YouTube. So if Dr. Oz puts a video up and it's shareable and searchable, then you are allowed to put it on your site. So here's an example. So I found this really funny video of this comedian talking about remembering passwords. And I read it and I was in hysterics. I thought it was great. So I said to myself, I'm going to write an article around this video. So my article is, do you have a hard time remembering your passwords? So inspired by watching this video, I just wrote a few blurbs, added a picture, and embedded the video in. And so now I've got content for my site, and it was based off of somebody else's content. So as long as the video is searchable, meaning it's not a private video, it's searchable, then you can embed it into your site. So the number 3 is use the top X formula. Use the top X formula. So kind of like the news headlines, it's a top 10. So it's a play on the news headlines. So top 10 questions to ask when hiring a coach, top 9 reasons why you should consider eliminating carbs, top 3 travel destinations for couples, 7 things to consider before purchasing your next smartphone. So, think about a top X that you might want to do, and then things should just sort of flow out from you. So if you're a coach, top 10 questions to ask when hiring a coach, like if that is your area of expertise, it should be able to flow out easily. Or if you're a health coach, top 9 reasons why you should consider eliminating or lowering carbs. Like these things will just flow on out of you. So those are my top 3: headlines, YouTube videos, and top X formula. All right, let's now move on to number 3 of my top 7 ways to get more clients and business from your site is getting clients from social media. So here's your website, and it's in the center of this social media world that some of us live in and some others try to avoid, but it's there whether you like it or not. And your goal when you visit social media sites, besides interacting with your friends, is to get them to come to your website, because your website is the heart of your marketing. But how do you get people there? Well, they're hanging out in these other places. So you probably want to hang out at these other places too. And Facebook, which is the biggest, most powerful one, now drives more website traffic than Google for news. So people used to go to Google to get their news. Now folks are getting their news from Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, just type in the chat, do you hear about news events from Facebook? I mean, I'll be on Facebook and I'll see people talking about stuff, and then I'll go search and look it up if something happens. So, it's a reason to have a Facebook account. So, and I'm gonna it's a reason to have Facebook account. Now, let me just pause, right? Facebook is a distraction. There's lots of fake stories on Facebook. There's lots of garbage on Facebook. But it is our world today, so you have to consider it. You don't have to waste time on Facebook, but you have to consider it. So let me just talk more about Facebook, because you probably have potential clients that are hanging out on Facebook. So you want to be able to reach them. So one way you do that is use social share plugins to drive traffic to your site. So let me go here, and here's a screenshot. So here's a screenshot from my site a couple years ago, but I want to talk about the integration process because there's connecting on social media, meaning this has my channels, and then there's sharing on social media where people can share your content. So that's what I want to talk about, is sharing your content. So if you hate Facebook and don't want to be on it, you don't have to necessarily, but give your visitors a way to share. So if you have social sharing buttons, it makes your content, helps your content go viral. And also, if you have your own social media accounts, then you can share it. So let me just show you how this would work. You write your article, and you can even do this with older articles, and you come and you click and you share. So let's say I clicked share to Facebook, right? I could share it on my timeline. I could click this drop down and share it in a group, or if I have a business page, I could share it on my business page. And you can say something else about it, and you can click share the link. So you can share, or your visitors can share it, right? So you've probably been on some social media, if you've on Facebook at least once and seen an article someone else has shared. You can share to Twitter if you have a Twitter account, right? Click on the button, it shares to Twitter. Share on LinkedIn, because lots of business folks are on LinkedIn. Google Plus is not so popular anymore, but I've just included it in here anyway, and also sharing to Pinterest. So you definitely want to have social sharing buttons on your site, whether or not you're on the social media giants or not. I do recommend that everybody have an account. Just just use good judgment. It's like, social media can be like candy. Just don't eat the whole bag of candy. Okay, let's move on to number 4 out of our 7 steps is growing a list with irresistible free offers on your website. So we're talking about having a site and how to get more traffic and more potential clients to your site. So we're talking about capturing leads and building an email list. Here's my quote. In order to email your list, you have to email your list. So that sounds a little funny. I'm going to read that again. In order to email your list a lot, you have to email your list so they get used to you emailing your list. So if you go from emailing your email list once a month to every day, they're going to get upset. So you have to warm them up. And if you've been on my email list a long time, you'll notice over the years, I've started to send more and more emails. So now I send pretty much almost every day. So let me go through the overview of the opt-in process for those of you who have or don't have an email list. And I don't think I have a poll for this, so I'm just going to pause. Just type in the chat. Do you already have an email list, some kind of email opt-in list? If you just type yes or no, I'll take a sip of water. Drinking some water. Just the question is, there's no poll. You can type in the chat. Do you have an email list? All right. I'm going to move on, and I do see questions coming in, and I'm going to take questions at the end. Let me go over the overview of the opt-in process. So this is how it works. somebody comes to your site, they see the free opt-in box. Oh, I'm just going to pause for a moment. I see what happened. My screen froze briefly. All right, so I see we've got some yes, no's, and a small list, and some are working on their site. Okay, some people have it, some people don't. I'm expecting a lot of people here don't have an email list. Okay, cool. All right, so let me just pause for a sec and start over. Let me now go over the overview of the opt-in process. So someone comes to your website, they see an opt-in box with an offer, and I'm going to talk about offers. They put in their name and email and they click submit, and then they get to a thank you page. I'm going to walk you through an example. At the same time, their info goes into your email marketing database, and then the database system, your email marketing system, looks up the email or the series of emails to send to the user. So here's an example of this call that I did in the past. So it has a little bit different of an opt-in. And here is the register now button that people click and people put their name and email into. So this process will look familiar to you. And then they get to a thank you page, right? And our thank you page has links to add it to your calendar and info about the time of the call. You can also capture leads on your sidebar. So you can have a sidebar on your site, which is something I always have. And when people put in their name and email, they get to a thank you page with a download. Now, sometimes thank you pages can say, go check your email. And sometimes the thank you page immediately gives the download. So that's up to you. With my thank you page, I've got a download and I have a video for people to watch that goes along with the download. So that is a very simple overview of the opt-in process. And this is something you can integrate with WordPress. And I use a third party, I use the platform Aweber. So here's the sidebar capturing leads. You can also have a standalone version if you want, because sometimes you might be running ads that you would send straight to a standalone versus your sidebar. And when you do, they can both go to the same thank you page. And here's an example of the email sent to the user. And why should you have an email going to the user as well? Well, maybe they didn't get the download, or they had to walk away, or they closed their browser. This way, you're following up with them an email, and so you're now building that email relationship. So what is your opt-in goodie? What is your opt-in goodie? And I'll just hold on this screen for a bit if you want to write some of these things down. When creating your opt-in goodie, you need to think about not only the content, but how you're going to deliver that content, right? So this screen is all about what you're going to deliver. So you could take your expertise and deliver it different ways. So you could give people a video or a PDF or MP3 audio or a checklist or some kind of digital download or a live webinar like we're doing today. Or maybe you have people opt in for an in-person event or a free consultation, whether in person or on the phone. A teleseminar, which is similar to a webinar, resources or Rolodex. You could say, you know, opt into my resource guide or mind maps or software tools. There's lots of different formats. You want to think about what's the easiest for you to execute? Like some people are great with making PDFs, so that might be easier. And someone else might be thinking, hey, I can shoot a video, and that might be easier. So think about what format you're going to deliver it in, and think about what your potential client wants. Like, what do they want? And deliver that opt-in offer. So, and then create an opt-in offer that delivers that. So it could be a mini ebook, a video, a free consultation, whatever's going to be easiest for you. So don't think you have to do all of these. Pick the one that's easiest for you to deliver or that makes sense. I know many consultants do a free 15-minute consultation that's easy to set up, easy to execute, and doesn't take a lot to do a free consultation except for your time. But the nice thing about, sign up for a free consultation or a discovery session to see if working with me is the right thing, then you can vet out that potential client on the phone. So think about what your potential client wants. And as they're opting in for that, you're now building an email list, starting a relationship, and maybe that potential client today you're not right for them, but maybe in 3 months you would be the right person for them. Or by having that download or today's live webinar, you now get to know me and establish this kind of relationship. All right, let me move on to number 5, which is optimize your website for search engines. And when I say search engines, I mean Google, right? Because Google is the biggest, but there's other search engines. All right, so let's talk about SEO. And if you don't know what this term SEO is, it stands for search engine optimization. And although WordPress is already very search engine friendly, there are things a non-techie can do to boost your SEO results. So there's things that you can do without needing to hire an SEO expert. So let me explain a little terminology here. So organic search are the free listings on the left. This is organic search. If you search in Google, stuff on the right are ads, and anything with this little yellow thing is an ad, little yellow icon. So there's a term called a title tag, and the title tag is the title of your site or your article, and they show up as blue headlines in free search results. Those are the title tags. So here's an example of a title tag from one of my blog articles here. And so here's the search in Google, and here is the article headline. So the title tag comes from your article headline. It's also known as an H1 tag. And that same title tag will show up here at the top, right? So that's the blue link that people click on. So you want to make them gone, right? You want to get rid. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was reading the chat box and got distracted. So you want to make sure that this is attractive to people so that they will click. So that is my point. All right, let's go inside WordPress. This is where you set that article title, right? So you want to have keywords that people will search on. So use keywords in your blog posts and your pages that people might search on. So how to embed a Google map, that's my title. And so I have the term Google map inside my site. And you don't want to go crazy and do what is called keyword stuffing on your site. So you want to speak like a normal human and write like a normal human, right? You want to write content for people and the search engines. So you want to make sure that your writing sounds fluid like a human would read, but also you want to put in those keywords so that will let Google know what your article is about, right? And then this is all going to add to more traffic to your site. All right, so I want to talk briefly about selling your products and services online because, you might be frustrated because your website's not bringing in the money you expected it would. So let's just go through this diagram of selling online, and then I'm going to show you just a little demo, and I'm going to come back to my presentation. So selling from your website. Somebody comes to your site and they find your product for sale. So it could be a product, or it could be maybe you're selling coaching packages if you're a coach. They get to the order form and then they enter their money information, credit card info or PayPal, and then they get to a post-purchase thank you page. At the same time, their money goes into either your merchant account or PayPal or Stripe, whatever kind of money collection mechanism you have, and their info should go into your database if you have a shopping cart system set up with your website, which then looks it up and sends an email receipt or any follow-up autoresponders. So if you are here and you've been through any of my trainings, you've gotten an email receipt and follow-up messages, and you've gotten a post-purchase thank you page, and that's usually where you're choosing your username and password. So let me do a brief demo of this process, and I've got then more PowerPoint training, and I am going to take questions at the end. And okay, so we are here in the demo, and here is the sales letter page, and I'm scrolling down. Sales letter is just meaning there's no navigation, no sidebar. Scrolling down, don't get dizzy, and we get to the enroll now. Now we're on the shopping cart page, and you enter your credit card info or PayPal. You click submit order. Then it takes you through a process of picking your password, and then you get into my members area. So this is my members area that has the training for the website transformation workshop. So coming back to my PowerPoint, let me go back here. So visited the website, I showed you the shopping cart order form. I didn't actually put the money in, but I talked about getting to the post-purchase thank you page. And if you're just starting out, you can use PayPal. If you're just starting out, PayPal is great. You don't have to get a full-blown shopping cart system. All right, so I did that live demo. Let me get on to number 7, which is tracking your website stats. So in simple terms, website stats is collecting data of how people are visiting your website. And if your eyes are rolling in the back of your head when you hear the term stats, because you're thinking, Christina, um, um, I'm a creative type and I don't want to think about stats, here's a reason why you might want to think a little bit about stats. It lets you understand your audience. Where are they coming from? Where do they live? It helps you fix errors. You might look at your stats and realize people are going to a page they shouldn't be going to, that you forgot to delete or was outdated. And it helps you discover what articles to write by looking at what's getting viewed a lot lets you know what your audience is interested in. So Google Analytics is the best stats that there is out there, and it is free. And you can sign up for it, and then you can hook it into your WordPress site so you can look at your stats inside your WordPress site. So you're in the right place if you want to grow a social following that loves you and buys from you. If you want to be able to sell directly from your website, if you want to be able to manage your WordPress website without having to pay for every little thing, and you just know you should be doing more with your website, but you're not exactly sure what to do, and you already have a WordPress site. So I talked about that in the beginning, that I'm going to be telling you now about the website transformation workshop, which is for people who have a WordPress site. There are 7 modules to go through that I talked about, 7 different areas, and I'm going to review that again. You get immediate 24/7 access. You get 12 months of live coaching calls. All calls are recorded for download and replay, and you get answers to questions about your business and your site. And we've got a Facebook group for community support. So the refresh module, let's talk about that. Hate your current web design? You're going to learn how to find and switch to an attractive new theme. If your WordPress site is woefully out of date, I'll teach you how to update your settings and your plugins so your site is fast and easy to do. Clean out old abandoned themes, plugins, broken stuff, do a little bit of spring cleaning that a developer would be charging you big bucks for. Developers often charge maintenance packages of like $100 a month. Module 2 is the easy content creation secrets. How often you should blog, how long your blog posts need to be, how to develop a habit and system for creating content for your site and later for posting to social media, and how to find and add inspiring images and videos to your blog posts. In Module 3, that's about social media followers, how to get more social media followers when people visit your site. I'll teach you how to add social media buttons, how to know which social media sites to use and which you can ignore, and how to get people to share your articles, blog posts across the web with easy to add sharing buttons. You're also going to learn how to grow your email list. So email marketing demystified, how to add stylish email sign-up boxes, step-by-step instructions on using your email marketing system and getting those sign-up boxes on your site. Module 5 is about getting found in Google, Bing, and all the other search engines. And in this module, you'll discover how to write articles that will make you show up higher in Google, how to optimize any page or blog post for Google rankings, and simple adjustments and plugins to use that'll help you improve these rankings. Module 6 is all about selling from your site, how to add easy payment buttons to your site, how you can use PayPal, Stripe, Amazon, or any shopping cart you like, and how you can do this in minutes with no techie skills required. And then Module 7 is tracking and analyzing, how to add Google Analytics dashboard to a WordPress site, how to understand what's happening on your site by reviewing your stats, and how you can improve your website to make it more sticky. So this is your website marketing machine. That's how you want to think about it, is your website marketing machine, which is updating, refreshing, creating content, leveraging social media, building an email list, getting traffic from search engines, selling from your site, and tracking your stats. So all of these things you want to do, and they're in a circle for a reason, because you don't necessarily have to go in a linear order. You can go in any order. You can go from refresh over to building an email box to SEO. You can go in a different order. So that's why it's circular. In my website transformation workshop, you're going to get live coaching calls for a year. Bring your questions you have about transforming your site and get coaching from me. You can attend live or listen later. We have lots of people, lots of different time zones, and they submit their questions ahead of time, and I answer it in your absence. And then everything is recorded and stored online in our members area. So let me read you some student success stories. We got Michelle Anderson's testimonial, and she posted this in our Facebook group, and I just wanted to I took a screenshot of it. She said, I just wanted to make a post here and share how impressed I am with your website transformation workshop so far. I have only made it through the refresh module, but I've jumped around to check out different things, including looking at this Facebook forum group. I can tell you are passionate about teaching on this topic, and so far everything has been so well and thoroughly explained. It's truly refreshing to have the step-by-step instruction when you're someone who doesn't know that much about WordPress or how to create and maintain a site. Thank you, Christina. And by the way, she never went through my foundation course. So she had already had website. I think she had learned it on her own. So you don't have to have that as a prerequisite. Here's Ellen, and she's got a lot of sites. This is just an example of one of them. She says, my website is no longer just, oh wait, I was gonna have you read these, Joanna.
Yes.
Okay, I'll let you read them so I can take a sip of water.
Okay, sounds good. So Ellen says, my website is no longer just a cyber office. It's all SEO optimized and cleaned up. I have my opt-in gift. I also have my biz Facebook page connected to my site and started to blog. Since that time, I've run 2 ads and brought in a number of great prospects that have accepted my help. Here's to Christina's website transformation workshop, one of the best business investments I've made in 2 years and second only to the website creation workshop. Kudos, Christina. Can't thank you enough. I know I couldn't have done any of this without you.
Yeah, so that is, I love Ellen's testimonial. And Joanna, if you don't mind reading Sally Stone's comments.
Okay, Sally said, Christina Hills has been my go-to mentor for building my own website since 2012. Her trainings have empowered me to maintain control over my own website, which has been crucial to updating my website in a timely, affordable manner. When I was ready for my business to expand and take advantage of the modern and very real need to have social media, email marketing, SEO, and appointment tools better organized and managed on my website, I took Christina's website transformation workshop. The result for me has been a complete website makeover that I'm really proud of and very excited to unveil.
And thank you, Sally. Yeah, she's got 2 websites. So let me just show you again my own transformation. You know, I call this the website transformation workshop because it's about transforming your site. Whether you want to change your theme or keep your theme, you know, that is up to you. There's all kinds of aspects you can do to your site to bring you more money. So I know people are asking, how much is this going to cost? Well, a custom design would cost 10 grand. A new website with off-the-shelf theme would cost you 5 grand to have someone build that for you. And webmasters typically charge $100 a month just to update and back up a WordPress site. And changes and edits and any new work is going to cost you more. So, you know, you're not going to have to pay 10 grand. You're not going to have to pay 5 grand. I probably should be charging 2 grand. I've had people tell me that, but you can transform your website into a client magnet just for $225 a month for 4 months. So, and we also have a full pay plan as well. So let me talk about bonuses and then I'll show you the recap. The online appointment booking bonus, how to take appointments right on your website using an easy to install plugin, why you should use this for both paying clients and potential new clients if you do free consultation. And this will save you time and make your clients happier. I don't know about you, but when I want to schedule something, I really want an online booking thing because I don't want to be on the phone. Do you have Thursday? No, I don't have Thursday. How about Tuesday? Well, it's just so much easier to do it online. So here's Sally, and she has got this little schedule now, and so people can book online. I also include this Divi theme training. So if you want to use this particular theme that I use, I've got a training to teach you how to do that. And you can build one-page sites. You can build all kinds of sites, and I'll go back and show you that example again. And here is one of my students who built a website um, she's got a top menu here, but she doesn't have any sidebars. We've got the bonus Facebook group, private community, and my 100% success guarantee. So let me just read it to you. It is risk-free. I'm so confident in the website transformation workshop, and I know that if you follow the steps and do the work, you will have a truly transforming experience for you and your website. And just to back that up, we will give you 45 days to decide if my teaching methods are for you. If you decide this course is not for you, just let us know by email and you will get a 100% refund of your course tuition. So here's everything you're going to get is the training modules that includes live coaching and Q&A with me for a whole year, online appointment booking, how to create a one-page style websites. There are Facebook group, total value $3,100, but I'm running a special $200 off the $9.95 fee for $7.95 or 4 payments of $225, which is $50 off. So here's where you want to go. You want to go to websitetransformationworkshop.com, websitetransformationworkshop.com, get all these things that you'll see here, and I hope you join me in the program.